Hey everyone, still at the Canada Connect conference. This is the Coffee with the Geek sessions, the afternoon of April 26th. With me is Craig Thompson-Wood, and Craig is a teacher at the Peel District School Board. He did a session here yesterday called, or today, this morning, called Game-Based Learning, and we're gonna talk a little bit about his background and his work. So, Craig, first of all, thank you for coming, and let's just talk about your work in general. Tell us a little bit about you, your background.
So 18 years of teaching. For the majority of that has been grade 5. Last few years I've been doing a 4-5 split, but been a junior teacher for most of those years. I did grade 2-3 for 1 year, and then grade 1 for 2 weeks. But then when the reorg came, I volunteered to get away from that one and back into junior grades. So, now I'm looking to do more work with integrating board games into the classroom and trying to encourage other teachers to do the same and showing them how it can be done. And this is what led me to the presentation here today.
So let's talk about your presentation this morning. What were the kind of key points, things you wanted, the takeaways?
Takeaways for that is just the for starters, I opened up by talking about the fact that listed on BoardGameGeek.com, which is the main database for all board games, there's now currently 98,229 board games listed. So if you're looking for a particular game to teach you, help you with skills that you're teaching in the classroom, or even social skills, physical skills, whatever, there's something out there for you. There is going to be some kind of game that you will enjoy that you can use in whatever setting for whatever age groups. It's out there. I can almost guarantee it. But also just in the range of skills and things that it can teach, everything from physical skills to social skills to any kind of curriculum skills, even 21st century competencies. It covers so much, and it really, for teachers who are always looking for, sort of bags of tricks and different things in their toolbox, board games are an excellent way to be teaching students and to be knowledgeable of them, is to, benefit your class.
So to kind of bring back the games, what your third, fourth grade, what kind of games would you recommend at that particular age level to get started? As a teacher who wants to maybe bring some board games in, what should they grab first?
Maybe start looking, you want to keep the games very simple, very quick. You want something that it depends on how you're going to be introducing them. If you introduce them in the classroom or as a board game club, you want to get the kids if you start a board game club, just things that will get the kids interested and attending, coming back again and again, something that's going to be fun for them. I know one that's been very popular with my kids is called Ice Cool. It's set up like a high school. It's a play on the word ice school, high school, and you're flicking penguins around and chasing each other. And so it's what we call a dexterity game. And the kids just love that one. They go crazy for that one. And so that was that really, if I want to keep kids coming back, getting something like that would be a place to start. Games which are very simple. There's simple ones like Love Letter, which is simple 18 cards in a deck, and the way you use them to the game, very simple but very fun, very strategic still. And the kids love that one. And again, it's cheap. You also want us to maybe start relatively inexpensively too. So Love Letter, Ice Cool, Cockroach Poker is a favorite one with them. Roll for It. Just keeping it simple, keeping it quick, I think would be the focuses for starting kids off with these.
Isn't kind of a prerequisite for teacher to know the game well in advance, or just let the kids take off with it, sir?
I would say the teacher should know the game first, really. Because when I do a game in the classroom, I'll set it up by playing with them in a center first. So as the centers go around, the one center with me will be where I'm playing with the groups until all the kids have gone through. They now know the game. Now I can make a center, and I'll be focusing on other skills with the kids while the other one group is playing the game now that they know how to. So I think really the teachers should know, not only because they need to teach the kids, but also because they need to know, is the game going to be appropriate for their own uses and purposes in the classroom.
So as we, get into the tech generation, and one of the keynotes earlier was talking about these kind of generational differences. And, now we kind of have a generation that's been brought up on apps and games, and everything is gameplay within kind of a tech-based world. How do we strike that balance between board games, tech games?
Well, you can just say, if you're doing like a family game night, maybe say this is a time where we're going to take away the tech, get back to being a family. But if you really want to strike a balance, there are games which incorporate apps right into them. So you need the app in order to play the game. For example, one game is called Alchemist, where it's a logic puzzle and you're trying to figure out, you use an app on your phone as you mix the combinations together and eventually deduce what the combinations are that you're looking for. Another one is called World of Yoho, where you take your cell phone, put it onto the board, and it animates the boat. And as you move around, it animates where the islands are, maybe sea monsters attack you, all animated on your phone. So you're directly using your apps and your technology with the game itself.
And I think one of the things, as a former elementary teacher myself, I used to do a chess club, and I always loved to see that kind of aha moment with especially third, fourth, fifth graders when they start, when they first play chess, everything is about their strategy and they totally lose sight of what the other student is doing. And it's that moment where they realize, and a lot of it's just a developmental piece, but it's always magical when you see them now look at what the other player is doing and seeing, reacting to their move rather than just, this is what I want to do and do it. And I think that's one of the key elements to get kids to see something from someone else's point of view. And I think that's so important in a lot of ways, whether we're talking about versing, playing, that sort of thing. Do you think that's one of the key elements of a board game rather than just playing against a computer?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, because the key elements is to see those aha moments, but also I think there's a lot of just to be said for the social interactions as well, as just being able to sit down with another human being and play with them is something I think we need to be doing more of. I mean, when a kid plays a video game, they're interacting with the pixels on the screen. I mean, even if you and I were sitting here right now with Xbox controllers in our hand, we're not interacting as we play a video game together on the same screen. We're still not interacting as human beings. And I think to me, that's one of the most important things that comes out of the board game play is that social interaction. But I do love those aha moments as well. I mean, sometimes you do get those as you were playing games in the classroom or whatever, and it's wonderful to see when you get those moments.
Okay, so we're gonna now. Is there anything projects you're working on for the future?
Well, I do my own YouTube channel called The Board Game Teacher, and I'm constantly putting out new content for that. I do not only reviews of games and how they might be incorporated to the classroom, but also looking at pedagogical theories as well as things like what are the social benefits of board games, what are the physical benefits of board games, and just anything that's related to board games and the board game community and how it ties into education as well.
Nice. And what was your website again? Or your YouTube channel?
Teacher.
The board. It's a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And okay, the YouTube game teacher or the game.
The board game.
The
teacher.
board game teacher. Thank you. All right. So we're going to go back to our answer garden here. I'll let Craig spin the wheel here, and you get a little more time to answer the question, but the gang's going to help you out here.
I'm slower than Joanna.
So go ahead and click the button in the middle.
Nice. Oh, I'm trying to read the little one.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there. Star Wars or Star Trek or Harry Potter?
So this is what's your whimsy question?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be those three.
No, that's okay. Yeah. So I mean, Lord of the
Oh,
Rings.
Yeah, it could be a Lord of the Rings if you want to. Yeah.
I would still say I think Star Wars. I mean, that just goes right back to just seeing that movie for the first time when I was a kid, and it just grabbed me right away. It was just so amazing. Lord of the Rings would probably be a close second, but I mean, Star Wars definitely. I mean, I've got my Yoda. I talked to Yoda through the class today. He's there. He inspires us. And that's the do or do not. There was no try. We always tell. I always refer back to Yoda. And if I say, okay, I'm going to try to do. Oh, I'll correct myself. Sorry, Master Yoda. And I will do this. So yeah, Star Wars has been, I think, had the biggest impact on my life, and currently reading a Star Wars novel at home. And
nice.
Star Wars all the way.
All right. Life doesn't imitate art; it imitates Star Wars.
It doesn't. It does. Yeah. Correct.
All right. Well, let's take a look. And before we go to the next one, what are some of the things people put here? We got Harry Potter. Got 3 votes. Army of Darkness. All right. All right. Good. Nice. I'm not familiar with that. What is that one? Is that
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell? Okay. Any others here I missed? Let me see. Harry Potter's. I think if I were to take date, I think Harry Potter's probably the one. Any other ones in there? Did I miss one? All right, we'll go with our next question.
All right. Am I a gamer?
That's a good one.
What's my game?
The perfect one for you.
Yeah. Am I a gamer? Well, yes. What's my game? I'm pretty seasonal. I have games which I like to play. My favorite game of all time is one that was discontinued but it's coming back again. It's called Monster Apocalypse. It's kind of like chess but with giant kaiju monsters fighting through the city.
Is that an app?
No, it's a physical board game.
Wow, nice.
With these large miniatures and buildings and such. It was just a phenomenal game. But I tend to go to some games I love, like so many different games that I enjoy. Currently, one of my favorites is one that we're playing is called Grim Forest. It's each person takes play of one of the little pigs, straw, brick, wood, and you're trying to build houses. But then it all ties in with the fairy tales and the themes, and it's a really clever game, beautiful components and everything in it. So it's been seeing a lot of play lately.
Okay, let's see what other people put out there. What's your favorite game? And it can be a computer game like Words with Friends, any of those things. So what people throw out? Scrabble. Okay, that's a good one. Is that a game?
Catan, yeah.
Catan. Okay. Tell me about that one. Is that an app program?
No, it's a board game. And you have resources in order to build and expand and like based on what you build.
Settlers of Catan is heralded as being the game that revolutionized what's now known as modern board gaming. So where we're getting away from the monopolies and things, you roll dice and you move a piece. Settlers of Catan kind of turned the world on its head to say board games can be different, and from there, a lot of different games have sort of created now. So yeah.
Is that more for adults, kids, anybody?
Well, yeah, they have Catan Kids. They have a kids version, but Catan is more the adult version.
Okay. So did I miss any games here? What were some of the other ones on here? Not at all. Is that a game?
No, that's just me not playing.
Oh, no games at all. All right. Not even Words with Friends, anything? Okay.
98,000
Oh,
games.
Legend of Zelda. All right. Legend of Zelda? Yeah. Zelda. All right. I haven't played that, but if I'm going to buy a game, you like it? You'd recommend it?
Yeah, the N64, the Ocarina of Time. I still play.
Yeah, because it's been around for a while, but they've made like a lot of versions of it. Yeah, I've heard amazing things about it. So. What's this one? Carcassonne?
Carcassonne.
Okay,
yes.
Tell me about that one. Is that a board game, computer game?
Yeah, board game as well, and you're building cities and set in medieval times and changes every time you play it. So like building a puzzle as you go and rules change.
It'd be what's called like a tile laying game, because it's a series of
Uh-huh.
tiles, and all you do is you pick up a tile and you lay it down strategically according to whether you're completing and building cities, building roads, and where you place your. And the Carcassonne was actually the game that coined the term meeples as well.
Yeah.
The little peoples that come in that. Meeples are the term for.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, excellent. That's another classic.
This is kind of a sidebar question, and maybe we can end it on there. I remember when kids played Yu-Gi-Oh games. Remember Yu-Gi-Oh was really big, and like there was those card games. And I remember there was kind of like this stigma around it because the boys especially would want to bring them to school. And, it was almost like a stigma of, oh, that's just their game. They play it, but there's some real power to that game. Do you find there's a stigma sometimes attached to games that maybe shouldn't be there? Maybe it's just the term games. I mean, people think like, oh, games is just fun and there's no learning. Yet so many games have the elements that we're
Any
talking
game has
about.
learning. The first game I did on my channel was Snakes and Ladders. Not because it's the best game, it's a terrible game, but just because to show all the learning that goes in that game, even if you're just playing a game that simple. There was so much, like the counting, the addition, the subtraction, the the socialization, the everything. So there, some people, yes, they will poo-poo games and they're like, oh, you're playing your board games, how cute. But no, I mean, board games are serious. I mean, there's there's just so much out there, and I mean, it's just I think it's really would do people well to discover more about it and to take the time to learn more about board games and what kinds of games they might want to try. And yeah, I just think that they should.
Yeah. All right. So that's our word of advice for the day. Bring the board games back into classrooms.
And to the families, the homes, the everywhere. Bring them into your life.
Great. Thank you so much, Craig. This is a great session.